Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's recap of Dancing with the Stars.
Last week, Lawrence Taylor and Edyta finally went home. Alright, so Melissa's not on the show tonight.
Yeah, and we found out she suffered an injury.
A re-injury.
With her rib.
She got hurt last week, and now they're looking at it and they're thinking it's a hairline fracture. And we see that she might have suffered from some complications from the treatment.
That's not good.
It's not cool. So, let's get right to the first dancers. Gilles and Cheryl. They did a Lindy hop.
Yeah.
He's injured too. I mean, his shoulder's been bothering him.
Since the beginning.
Right. So he got a cortisone shot in his shoulder to try and help, and I guess it did.
I felt like this was one of his weaker dances.
I'm going to have to agree because it just seemed like he was so awkward and there were
parts
out
of sync.
Yeah, there were out of sync parts.
During some parts.
The Beavis and Butthead hair and the nerd pants weren't helping either because when he was waiting to get his scores, I saw some things I did not want to see.
I still think it was cool though to see him do a different style of dance.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was worthy of a 27.
I don't think so either. I think the judges were a little bit too slap happy.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Kim and Derek up next with their Paso Doble. They got a standing ovation for this. And I'm really surprised because I did not think it was standing ovation worthy. I thought it was pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it didn't knock my socks off. And why did Len think that she wouldn't be good at the Paso Doble? Because she was totally good at the Tango, and that's really similar. She ended up with a 28.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck and Julianne were up next. Chuck.
They showed
With their
in the
sha-sha.
beginning of the show that Chuck got kicked in the face during rehearsals.
Yeah, they didn't
But they
really
didn't
say
show that
anything.
in the video package.
I guess once was enough, and it probably wasn't very serious. It was probably just like, whoa, you know? His confidence has incredibly improved over the life of the show.
Yeah. He looks a lot more comfortable on the stage.
Which is good, because, I mean, I think he's got a lot of potential, and I think he's finally realizing his potential as a dancer.
And he wants to be there.
For Julianne. He's come a long way, Maddie, from week 1.
I know.
I think he deserved a little bit more than a 26, though, from the judges.
I thought that was pretty fair.
I thought it could have been a little higher. Shawn Johnson and Mark. Samba.
Yes.
His mom showed up to help out.
Shirley Ballas.
Woo! And I saw Karki in the audience, too, at the performance. His parents are really, really cool. I mean, can you imagine? Her bounce was really good. I'm going to have to disagree with Len, saying that her dress did most of the work.
Come on.
I thought her technique was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was one of her best weeks, and Len was like, I don't know, it's not one of your better weeks.
Yeah.
What? Was I watching the same show that the judges were watching tonight?
It didn't feel like it.
Because it didn't seem like I agreed with anything that they said, and Bruno was telling little baby Shawn Johnson, you know, hoe it up a little, honey. She's 17. Get over it.
Well, she ended up with a 27.
She was having fun. Melissa and Tony. She wasn't there.
She's at the doctor because she was suffering more pain this morning.
Right. So, yeah, they showed her preparing for her Jive and how she re-injured her rib from last week, and she went to the doctor and said, you know, is it okay if I still keep dancing and practicing? Yeah, just don't have your partner, like, lift you up or anything. So, they actually went and used the morning rehearsal, which isn't even the dress rehearsal. No. So she didn't even have the benefit of the same thing that Steve-O had, which was a couple hours before the performance. They took a video of her in her jeans dancing, which were a really bad choice.
They were really low rise.
Yeah, they were basically just blocking out the dance for like the camera and the band and everything.
Yeah, they weren't doing the full motions and everything.
Not even close. And that's what they judge them on? That is so cheap. It doesn't even, I can't even begin to say how cheap that is and unfair. Yeah, they ended up with a 21, which was the lowest score of the night. Not cool. So, Ty and Chelsie, the last of the couple dances tonight, did their salsa.
Mm-hmm.
She had Dimitri come in and give Ty some pointers.
Which included a spray tan.
You did good, honey.
This reminded me of those pageant shows.
I know.
When the kids like crying, but then they're like, you did good.
He tried so hard on this dance.
But all of his like power and stuff came from his knees. Like,
yeah. Everything below the waist, everything you're doing was wrong. He was just so stiff.
But he did
I really
totally
like him.
commit to it.
Yeah, he did. He really tries. He ended up with a 24. Well, they both ended up with a 24. Mm-hmm. So now comes the part of the show everybody's waiting for, the exciting team dances. It's going to be Team Mambo versus Team Tango. So Mambo was up first.
Filling in for Melissa was Lacey.
Right, so you got Lacey and Tony, Chuck and Julianne, and Shawn and Mark. And they danced to Single Ladies.
I thought this routine was awesome.
It was tight.
The solos were great. The parts when they were all together were great. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And then, to top it all off, at the end, when they pulled out the Beyonce...
Priceless. Yeah. Priceless. They put thought into it.
It was so awesome.
They ended up with a ridiculous 25.
That's bullcrap.
Their routine was so tight. Okay, they were like, all right, don't look at Lacey and Tony because they don't count. But come on, the other two couples were fabulous. Mm-hmm. How do you give them a 25? All right, Team Tango in the judge's pocket up next. Ty and Chelsie, Gilles and Cheryl, and Lil Kim and Derek. All the judges' favorites.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, well, except for Ty. So, I don't think their routines were as good as the Mambo.
No, I was actually bored, okay? I hate saying that about stuff, but I was bored.
There was some sloppy moments in there, Lil Kim.
But then when they got together at the end, they were all together perfectly.
They were all together, you know.
But that doesn't make up for the rest of the dance.
No, they did not deserve a WTF 28. That is just bull shark. I thought they were robbed. You know, the other team was robbed. That was not fair at all.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, Rob and Thicke. And the pro dancer competition continues.
Yay.
We want snow. Alright, so somebody's going home too, unfortunately. So you better vote like crazy for Melissa. It's probably too late, but the die is cast. Till tomorrow, much love.